Okay, there's a lot of information attached to the swastika, but the general gist of it is that it can mean, in some cultures, like Japanese or Indian, it can mean so be it, just like amen, that's not a coincidence. It's a symbol of the sun, it's black. The Japanese symbol is red. It's fine. They have the white, which in this case represents a lukewarm spirit of which can be of trying to achieve love with your wife, trying to be gentle. It can mean guilt. After you act like you're in the spirit of, you're trying to be like the sun, but you're not in the pure yellow or the morning light spirit of the sun. You're in a kind of red as the principle of evil, or black as the bull covering up the light for your race. So the red on the Nazi flag and on the Japanese flag, it means race as the reason why you're doing evil, right? Selflessness versus selfishness. It's selfish to do things in a way that puts your race first at the expense of the divine order, which is what they're doing. Okay. So red is the principle of evil, and getting worked up, your blood boiling, right? Which combines with the sun symbolism. And black as the bull that covers the light, which is the swastika. It's a symbol of the sun, depending which direction it's going. It can be an inverted swastika, or it's pointing the other way. It's like a tantric moon symbol or something if it's pointing the other way. Okay, so that's what these symbols mean. Okay, it's also a symbol of prosperity, luck, and fortune, right? And that goes back to Lucifer, right? Lucky for you, right? Loose E for you. People like you tend to have sex with concubines and dumb bitches who are willing to have sex with scum to advance their positions. So she's likely to be a loose slut. Naturally so. Granted, there might be some surgeries or techniques they can use to deal with that. I don't want to get into that. So again, the mind, body, soul, get into the perfect woman. Okay? To me, the perfect woman has black hair. She is a light-skinned. I've seen a woman today, who reminds me of the perfect woman. There's like Indians that are brown skin with straight hair that dress with a certain eloquence and a certain mix of elegance and grace, rather, that shows, and humility and covering up. There's just a hint of sexy. There's grace and their eloquence mixed right? To me, that's not the perfect woman, but in modern society, it's the most appealing woman. Now, in the temple of light, a woman who is dressed like the Virgin Mary in the temple of light, in the pure spirit, and the spirit just flowing through her being, and has this kind of frail body and long hair, that to me is the ideal woman. And she has the heart to die for what she believes. She realizes, hey, this is where I fit in the divine order. Therefore, I can't have sex with the enemy. I can't use my pussy power. I can't dress like a slut and contribute to women being raped so that I can turn around and say men are scum who can't help but think with their dick even though they fed into it. Okay? You have to be in the grace and the willingness to die. So that grace, that elegance, when it needs to be there in the right situation. Otherwise, it's pure. You're going for pure grace and humility and submission to God with the humble outfit to keep people like me from lusting for you. We're all humans. So the angels and the sons of God can be seen as human beings who are martial artists, who have honed their senses. So if you do things in a certain way as a woman because they're inclined to reproduce as a man in the pure masculine spirit, you're going to bring out this lust. And they're going to be like, I'm lusting for her, and it's fucking with my head, and it's throwing me off. Even if they don't rape you or win you over for the wrong reasons. Okay? You're throwing them off. Why would you want to throw off the divine order? Unless you're a useless cunt who's less than the most mediocre slut. That's what you become. I prefer a poor, dirty, bummy slut to a rich, empowered, godless harlot that looks like some celebrity slut. Celebrities, all garbage, all garbage. Where's the celebrity standing with me? There's no attractive celebrity standing with me. All garbage. That's what you do with all that money and power? Garbage. You know them by their works. When's the last time you've seen celebrities take a tough stance on addressing the root cause of rape? They don't, because they're the determinant in the root cause of rape. You can quote me on that. Am I blaming the victim or the harlot that set the victim up? It reminds me of when Sonika Shakur said they used to put blood on knives to catch the wolf. And the wolf would lick the blood, and they'd keep licking the knife until they bled out. Do you blame the wolf for his nature? Or do you blame the hunter for taking advantage of it and setting him up to die? Yes, those women are the biggest cause of rape in society. Dressing like a harlot and dating the bad guy leads to rape because people don't respect you and they get full of hate and they want to be like the bad guy to get what they're missing. And one way or another, they end up channeling that spirit and raping a woman. and they're using drugs. I mean, this is a drug-pushing society. They're using date rape drugs instead. They're using psychology to lure them in, right? This is a psychological construct, druggy society, you know? You have middle-class women taking, Oxycontin and Vicodin. You have psych meds everywhere, illicit street drugs, on and on and on. This is a substance abuse society, unwittingly and otherwise. The substances in your food and drink and in the air. Yes, you feed into it. Yes, a sober man might fill up with lust and rape a woman because of how you're dressing and how you're behaving. If you are the most seductive, enticing, attractive woman dressed like a slut, purposely trying to bring out the lust of men when you know society puts them in this unfocused state of mind, how could you not be the determinant? Oh, you don't blame the victim liberals. Answer the question. How could you not? How could that harlot not be the determinant? How could that gold-digging cunt not be guilty of being the biggest accomplice in the rape of humanity, mind, body, and soul? That's why it is Eve and the Statue of Liberty and Queen Semiramis and Nephthys and Jezebel. These are harlots that are drunk on the blood of the saints. People who died trying to protect those righteous women whose seeds turned out to be sluts, turned out by you, and the ones who mean well set up because of their naive nature, because they used to live in societies where great warriors protected them. Now they live in a society where scum, where Babylon's system is a vampire full of millions of people in secret societies that take advantage of them, rape them, and abuse them, and take advantage of that nature. They study it in great detail. They spend billions of dollars studying human nature so they can trick that whore into bed. And they can make that innocent woman into a whore and trick her into bed. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. You tell me how a righteous man should feel about it. How a righteous man should feel about these people who set people up in different places and close the door and have a bunch of big fat bully standing by the door while they're getting a train ran on them, while they're getting drugged in a frat house. How should I feel about it? And if I rose up in the Spirit of God, would I be wrong? How could they sit there like I would? Should they compare me to some terrorist who's misled by a bunch of psychology using fake Muslims? It's absurd. Anyway, so she has the soul, mind, body, and soul right. She's in the spirit of the divine order, loyalty, right? Lael. She's open to Pharaoh. She's willing to die like Jesus for a cause, to keep her temple from being violated, because she's not Jesus. She's not Pharaoh. She's the beautiful woman, Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary needed to stay a virgin to bring in the Son of God. That's another way to look at it. How does that apply to every attractive maiden? Why are there images? I'll put them I'm not allowed to put them. Just do a Google search. There's images of demons having sex with angels. The angels aren't healing the demon. Look around at society. How many evil men have tricked good women to marry them? Do we live in a divine society as a result thousands of years later? No. You're not changing them with your pussy power. You're bringing us all down. You're bringing me down. You're bringing that evil guy down to a lower level. You're bringing down their families. You're breaking everyone's spirit. The evil man breaks the spirit of the lukewarm woman when she marries him in Babylon's system. She doesn't convince him to do the right thing. He never does. He's a serpent. He's going to bite you. All right. So her emphasis also must be on anticipating the enemy's tactics and dying before being raped and tortured. He can use you to get at me. So your job is to reserve your body for the children of God and to keep the enemy from torturing. And that means you have to present yourself to the righteous using timing. It might very well be right away when you're 18 years old, but at some point you need to find it in yourself to use timing. This calls on wisdom for the divine, calls on the wise to direct women to be wise and to act in a wise manner. Witten, to know. Idios, idion, right? To see, form. Wisdom, wise. Was when I was a baby, but when I turned 3 or 4, I said that's for the coward elite. I'm not a bitch like them. Only when I was a baby did I not know. Only when man was walking on all fours like a monkey did he not know. That's for the monkeys who are rich, not for the temple of God. My goodness. Imagine me Being compared to one of these pussy-ass fucking cowards with no heart? And then some dumb bitch thinking that she's better off with him? Psst, she's not perfect, I'll tell you that. I know that much when I'm two. All right. So the emphasis is on fighting for God and keeping the enemy out of the temple. The Medusa, right, made you see. Why do they want to shut me up? Because they don't want these bitches to go to the bar and start taking shots. Because when I make her see herself, she turns to stone. When I see what the enemies have done to a woman who used to guard the temple of love, I start drinking and turn to stone.